welcome. So I'm Matt Winters, owner of Austin Visuals 3D Animation Studio. I thought I'd put this together because COVID is impacting everybody in different ways. And one of the things as a business owner I found myself doing during some of the uncertain times when this news just first hit, I found myself Googling what's everyone else doing and to get some answers and create some certainty for myself and for also the people that work for me. So what I thought with putting this together was try to give back to the community and try to create some certainty for everybody. There may be some things on this call or this live chat that you didn't know, and it's also great to understand what's happening in our local community and the choices that we make impact each other as well. So I just wanted to create something that we can't really Google as far as information goes. So I'll start off with quick introductions, and then we'll just kind of go down the line in the interview. So I'll start off by saying I'm Matt Winters, owner of Austin Visuals. We make custom animated marketing videos that help you clearly communicate your message and help you increase your sales with custom animated videos. So that's austinvisuals.com. I also own a social network email marketing system called mynetworkbuilder.com. It's a private networking group for your contacts and helps you host online events as well and introduces your contacts to each other automatically. So we have a great lineup. I brought some really fantastic business owners together from different spaces so we can really get kind of insight on what's going on. So I'll start off with Mercedes. You're ready? Yeah.
I'm ready.
Great. Cool. So yeah, Mercedes is the owner of the venue on 6th Street. And if you could just introduce yourself to everybody, and then I'll kind of go just me and you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mercedes Ferris. I often go by Mercy, M-E-R-C-Y. And my other half and I own and operate a venue called The Venue ATX on 6th Street in the corner of Red and 6th. So we would have celebrated we had our 1-year birthday party planned for April 18th. Well, we're pushing back to June. So we took it very hard. It's actually it's really interesting to see how we're all going to come out of this. I know everybody has their different pieces and everybody can kind of talk to their how they're being affected by all this. But as a venue, generally South by Southwest really helps make up for slow times for winter, and so December, January, February are very, very slow for people in the bar and venue industry. So March would have been a really lifesaver for us in terms of we just acquired another space on 4th Street. So having a new space, trying to open right now with not having the revenue that we anticipated, we lost about $400K with all that because we were South by Southwest official for the entire 10 days. So we lost a lot of money. Not sure how we're going to come out at the end, but my other half is confident that we'll be fine. So applying for as many loans as possible. I hate the fact that we have to apply for loans because we have no revenue. So we'll see how we come out at the end. But it's trying times. I try to stay positive that things happen for a reason. We'll see what those reasons are down the line, but it's been affected. We had to let all our staff go. We have no staff. It's just myself and my one other person and my other half. So we used to have 14 people. So I'm not sure how our bartenders and our bar manager are surviving. Unfortunately, they all applied for unemployment and probably food stamps because at least we know they're eating. I'm participating on a board with the Red River Cultural District on the board there, and we represent all the live music venues on Red River. So that has been interesting to hear all the venues, how we're all trying to come out ahead. We started a fundraiser outside of what the city did to raise money for people in the service industry. So we've raised $40,000 trying to basically give $75 gift cards to everybody who applies. And you had to have been in the service industry. So we're trying to be proactive, trying to still band together and work together as a community to see how we all come out, and really just trying to take care of our bartenders and our service industry because without them, we won't have people to work in our industry to help us even open again. So I'm hoping people do come back. I'm not sure how that's going to look. Even during South by in the service industry, we were shorthanded anyway because all the hotels. So it's kind of more of a crapshoot right now at this point, how we're surviving, applying for loans and just trying to stay positive and doing a lot of praying, a lot.
And what was the conversation just in general like when you've had to have, I guess, tell some people that were close to you business-wise that, you know, you might have to either lay them off or, you know, see how things, you know, work or change the terms. Yeah. Could you kind of share a little bit about that?
Well, we saw the writing on the wall as soon as the mayor canceled South by. We all just we were in the same room. We kind of just looked at each other, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. Our bar manager is a single mom with 3 kids, so she's the one that comes to mind a lot for me. And I just told her, I said, you know, just try to apply for unemployment, go apply for food stamps, because people in the bar industry, they don't, service industry, she never qualified for help because she made too much money. So I was like, she's like, I don't think I'll qualify. I'm like, believe me, you'll qualify. Go get in line right now so you can feed your children. So that was, for me, hard to tell her, like, you need to go make sure your children are taken care of because it's uncertain. Our social media, our events person that we have, I mean, she's still with us. She's still helping as if she's getting paid. So she promises to come back. And so we'll hopefully be in a position where we can make up for all the monies that she's not being paid. We and some other staff are kind of just like waiting, and they got jobs at Amazon, so that's good. But again, it's like, okay, now when we open again, are you going to come back, or how's that going to look? So everything is very uncertain. And telling them that, and they knew, and actually they were very, very grateful, and they were very nice, and they said, I can't imagine how hard it is on you, meaning me, because now we have these 2 locations and we have no revenue, and we have no idea when we're going to be able to reopen. So they were very, very sympathetic, trying to understand that they can't imagine what it's like to, 1, have to let staff go, and 2, trying to figure out, because that is our revenue and we have a house ourselves. So try and take care of 3 houses.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Can you tell me just your, I don't know, your background? How did you get into the bar business, or yeah?
So I've worked in TV and sports back when I lived in Miami. I came to Austin, worked nonprofit, but I've always done events. So working in fundraising and event planning for nonprofits. Then my other half has always loved bars. He's had a couple of bars in his lifetime, and that wasn't my forte, but I decided to take a backseat to nonprofit. And so he brought me in for South by 2 years ago at the venue, when it was a different name, because we were still part owner at that time. He was part owner at that time. So he's like, well, you can come help me here. And, you know, before I knew it, I was completely involved managing all the events, the marketing, getting everything up and going. So just doing all the stuff face forward in terms of the community, because he's kind of an introvert. Imagine that, being a bar owner, but he knows that I'm pretty good in front of people. So that's where I started taking over.
And so what kind of trajectory were you on before COVID?
Oh, we were on track to be ahead 6 months at both locations. And we wanted to put a partial roof in on our venue, which you've seen, where it's quite substantial, that we needed to put a partial roof on because it's an open air venue. So we were on track to get that roof done, to renovate the new 4th Street location, have a couple of $100K set aside to keep us for the rainy days, which would have been ideal. But since we didn't make any revenue for South by, all that's gone. So we'll see. I mean, I don't even know what to say. We're kind of at a loss, and we're just hoping that the loans from the feds actually come in, and we can at least keep operations open. Our landlords have been very kind with us on both locations. At first they were like, no, we want our money, but then I guess they slowly realized that they're not going to get their money. And so it's like, well, we don't pay, and then you can kick us out, and then there's going to be a lot of open real estate once this is all over.
Yep.
So I'm sure they probably realized, well, do I kick a good tenant out and figure out what I do next, or I keep a good tenant and we'll just get through it?
Yeah, it's understandable. So what point, I guess, how did you start hearing the news, and what actions did you take as the COVID news started coming in?
When it first started coming in, we were like, oh my God, is he going to cancel? And we were like, no, South by is not going to cancel. It's 35 years running. They're not going to cancel South by, no. So I heard people saying, oh, that's poor financial planning. No, I've done finances. I've run businesses. I've run nonprofits. When you have something that's certain for 35 years as a revenue source, it's pretty certain to have that as a revenue source. So it was pretty much guaranteed money for us, for any kind of business having that kind of projected revenue. So it was hard. So when South by canceled, obviously we were shell shocked. I came home and cried and got drunk off a bottle of wine. And then the next day I woke up and I'm like, no, we can't just lay here. I can't. So we got up and we went back downtown and just started reaching out to all the companies that were now looking for places to have an event. So we rebooked everything again, all 10 days, we got everything rebooked. But then it was like, they're like, no, we're shutting the city down. I'm like, it's like losing South by twice, because we were rebooked. We had all 10 days rebooked. So we were like, okay, well, if we don't make all the 100 grand that we were thinking, if we just make 50, we'll be okay. Yeah, so all that got canceled, and we were like, God bless, man. We got sucker punched again.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes. So what kind of solutions, I guess, and you don't have to say any, but yeah, so where are you at with, how did you change what you were doing once things got bad?
What we've changed and what we were doing, I guess, going forward, is making sure all of our contracts are written differently to include that, because our bar minimums, we didn't charge ahead of time for our bar minimums. So that's where a lot of our money is. We had a lower venue fee, which we were anticipating to make more money on our bar side. So our staff is taken care of. So two, making sure anything, start rewording the contract to include epidemic, pandemic, anything along those lines, to require people to pay no matter what hell or high water, you're still paying. Upping our insurance, because the loss of revenue in our insurance claim, they just denied it because there was no loss to the business itself. There's no structural damage. So definitely re-looking at our insurance policy to ensure that now, and when it's anything relating to virus, pandemic, epidemic, city closure, any kind of that language that they said we were denied for, is now we're going to re-look at our insurance policy to make sure that's included. So I think everyone has a lot to learn from all this in terms of what language we should include in all of our contracts and what's required, and making sure there's no loopholes when it comes to any such virus or pandemic, epidemic, whatever the hell they want to call it. But definitely making sure those loopholes are all filled. And I keep kicking myself on the head because when I lived in Miami, when I ran a sports network, whenever we sent our directors and officers in our D&O insurance, it stated anything with war, pandemic, epidemic, anything like that, but we dealt with Latin America. So my fault for assuming that we didn't need to include that in this respective policy, but now we all know it should be included. So lessons learned, and we've already in the process of rewriting all our contracts to ensure the language, if the event is canceled with force majeure, whatever that force majeure, but also be very clear to include pandemic and epidemic or virus in that language, in that contract.
Understandable. And so last thing, how can we help?
As soon as this is all over, come party with us and drink.
Awesome.
That's what we're planning. As soon as we're able to open, we're going to actually, my events person and I were planning just as a target date for May 1st, because supposedly we have until April 30th is the stay order. We know it's probably going to be pushed back because people are still at the park and don't understand because it's not affecting their livelihood. But we're targeting May 1st as a big party, trying to see if we can get the mayor and city involved for all 6th Street and Red River and all that downtown corridors. But have a big party and to stimulate the economy as far as locally and getting people out. And if we have to keep pushing it back until we can come outside and play again, then we'll just keep pushing it back until that day. But definitely I'll let you, Matt, know so you can get it out to the universe.
Great. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Certainly welcome to stay for everyone else's.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Cool. Okay, Elise, let me unmute Elise. Hey, how's it going, Elise?
Good. How are you? How's
Great.
everybody?
Great. Yeah, everyone's good. Some people are muted. So, yeah. So Elise, she is a Renaissance catalyst, and she's in media. She's been doing it for 25 years. She runs a PR agency in Austin, Texas. And so, yes. So you're welcome to finish the introduction. And just one more thing, we have 21 people in total on this Zoom meeting, so it's good the word's getting out. So I put in the group chat a link to our Zoom. So if during the course of this, if you can share it on social media, we'll get more people to join. So thank you. So Elise.
Hi. So the name of my company is EK Public Relations, and I basically represent companies that are actually doing social good, not just paying a fee to nonprofits or paying money and saying, well, we're a great corporate citizen. They're actually in the trenches doing something good, as well as artsy and film and art kind of clients. But in addition to that, I also do editorial work. I'm a ghostwriter. I'm not a ghost, nor do I ghost anyone. I'm also an author. I'm doing
very punny.
And I do editing. So it's a comprehensive editorial service. On the PR side, I have several people that I work with. Those are my partners. We all work virtually and we come together. We pool our resources. We come together on projects as need be. So how does this whole thing affect me? Well, I'd have to say that more on a personal level than on a professional level, it's affected me. Why? On a professional level, I come together in person, face to face, when I'm promoting a client at an event or organizing such an event. And those are far and few between throughout the year. It's mostly working with a social media person or people, a team, and I'm directing the team. So the thing is happening. I may or may not be there for the most part. A lot of the work that I do is virtual. It's through IP. So it's just like this. It's on Zoom. And writing is a sole profession. There's really not much difference when I'm looking at this screen, whether I'm in a coffee shop or whether I'm sitting here at my kitchen table. Most of PR is digital anyway. It's okay. In fact, I just started with a new client today, a cardiologist who has a cardiology and healthcare app. So we'll be promoting the heck out of that over the next 2 months. Okay, has it really affected? No, but what I would like to offer everyone is that there is a cavalier attitude, a nonchalance, which really pisses me off. Like, oh, it's not going to affect me. I'll walk around without a mask. I'll walk around without gloves. I will not keep social distancing. And I'm angry about that because that's selfish. You're not only affecting yourself, but others. So when I walk into an HEB, even though they have the little less than 6 feet stickers on the ground for social distancing, none of the workers are wearing masks. None of the workers are wearing gloves. Well, that is very disturbing. If I go to a takeout, the same. So they're not protecting themselves from me, the public, nor from their coworkers, whoever is working. And so, yeah, I mean, I bought a mask, an N95, military grade mask, and I'm going to wear it even though I'm not ill whatsoever and don't plan on being ill. I'm going to wear that when I go out, because if I am with people at the supermarket or, Costco or wherever I go, then I think that's the least that I can do.
And so what have you, I guess, what solutions have you come up with as far as any COVID impact? What are you doing a little differently?
So as I just mentioned, so for me on a personal level, I'm wearing the mask, I'm wearing the gloves. I'm also spraying the surfaces, like when I get home, immediately wash my hands, spraying surface with colloidal silver mixture, with colloidal silver. It's really good.
Business-wise, not necessarily just like a process change, but yeah, how are you, I guess, approaching clients differently?
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm helping them, I'm offering them and helping them to pivot from, if they had a retail establishment, for example, helping them pivot to online. If they were thinking about conducting any in-person events or gatherings, we're doing it virtually, just like tonight. We're offering different types of, happy hours or virtual lunch meetings.
Cool.
Email marketing campaigns, and then following it up with social media.
Yeah. So is there anything we can do to help, or any message you have for everyone?
Yeah, if anybody needs help in making that transition with their business in any which way, I would absolutely love to help you. And you could take a look at ekpublicrelations.com or reach me at elise@ekpublicrelations.com. And you can see the spelling of my name here, Elise.
Great. Well, thank you so much for chatting, and thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to bring Jen Hillman next. So let me unmute Jen. Okay. Hey, Jen, how's it going?
Going good. How about you guys?
Doing great. So Jen is an online yoga instructor and massage therapist. So yes, tell us, introduce yourself, and then tell us how COVID's impacting what you're doing.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Matt, for organizing this and putting this together. It's nice to be here with all of you. And so as Matt mentioned, I am a yoga instructor and I'm a massage therapist, and I've been creating videos for YouTube for the last 10 years. And in that time, I've garnered millions of views and hundreds of thousands of followers worldwide. So I've been operating part of my business online for the last 10 years, making video content. And I've also been working as a massage therapist and teaching some classes here in town. So I've been doing a little bit of both, like just doing my hands-on work in person with clients here in town, and then building my business online. So I started out teaching some yoga classes for a couple of different YouTube channels. And about 2 years ago, I launched my own YouTube channel. About 3 years ago, I launched a paid subscription channel. So that was kind of the beginning of like really generating revenue in my business, because when I was working for the previous 2 channels, like I wasn't really getting paid for the content that I was creating. So I had to shift gears so that I could make it sustainable for myself. And that's when I created the subscription channel and then launched my own YouTube channel. So I have these revenue streams from the online content. Well, at the beginning of this year, I decided that I wanted to transition so that I could go full-time on running my business and generating the bulk of my revenue from online sales and through a health coaching program. So since the beginning of this year, I've been crafting a holistic health coaching program that is specifically designed to help people that are dealing with chronic or reoccurring pain. So I'm a pain relief specialist, and I have been so excited crafting this program that is basically a culmination of everything that I've been teaching over the last 10 years. I put in my notice at my job, and my last day at my part-time job was March 11th. So it's kind of an interesting time to just quit my part-time job. And by that following Monday, it was like things were starting to shut down. And so even if I hadn't quit my job, I would be out of a job. So it was kind of interesting how that timing unfolded. I certainly couldn't have anticipated this when at the time that I put in my notice with my work. So kind of interesting to, you know, I was like, in one way, kind of like, okay, maybe like a confirmation from the universe or something, like, all right, time to really go all in with transitioning my business to that online platform. And it's also been, in some ways, a blessing in disguise, because now there's, I mean, I can't leave my house. So there's not, you know, social engagements or shows that I'd be going to, or other things, other ways that I might be spending my time. I mean, from sun up to sundown, I'm at home. So I have this immense time and space to really focus on dialing in my business. Well, I feel like it's kind of good and bad, because the coaching program that I'm launching is a $2,000 course, and it's absolutely worth every penny. And people are in a unique position that they're really concerned about their health right now. So it's really a great time to invest in your health, or to take the time that you're not at work to really dial in on some of these practices that are going to help relieve your pain over the long run. But as you might imagine, this is not really a great buying climate. So people are getting laid off left and right. Businesses are closing down. People are just not in a position where, you know, even if they have the money, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty. And so people are not making those larger investments in themselves right now. So even though I'm in this great position where I can really give my time and attention to the clients that I'm serving, I haven't really been hugely successful in enrolling people into that program. So I've had to get creative really quick and start thinking about what are some other ways that I'm going to generate those sales into my business. So it's been, again, I've had a lot of time, a lot of space, a lot of time on the internet to get creative and get crafty and think about, how can I serve my community? How can I support the people that have been following me? I'm an influencer. I'm a community leader for the people that follow me. And this is a time that people are really like, they're afraid, they're stressed, they're not sleeping. And these are all issues that I address in my coaching. So, I feel like I'm in a really great position to serve people. So I'm thinking in terms of service, like what can I do to serve my community? I'm really excited. I finally figured out the technology. So tomorrow I'm doing my first online live yoga class. So I'm doing it besides just Facebook Live. Like I wanted to create something that's a little bit more formalized where people can make a donation. Once you donate, you get the link to go join the class. So I'm going to see how that goes. I already have, the last time I checked at the start of this meeting, I have 19 people signed up for the class. I've generated over $200 in revenue today just by posting that link on Facebook and Instagram.
Great.
And so we'll see how it goes. So my idea is I would like to have a class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, see if I can get that on a regular schedule, see if I can start having consistent people participating in the yoga classes. And if the demand is there, I can start including other times because I do have a global audience. So people are in all kinds of different time zones. So if I'm offering classes at different times, it can give accessibility to more people. I'm also starting to repurpose some of my existing content. So I'm starting to create other packages aside from just my coaching program, but I'm creating other smaller packages that people, basically just reusing videos, but putting them together in a kind of curated program and giving people, just other opportunities to consume content, other opportunities to buy content and make a smaller purchase than enrolling in a $2,000 program.
So have you noticed, I guess, major shifts in consumer, purchasing behaviors for your existing courses? You were on a particular trajectory, then COVID hit, and then are sales down or stable?
Well, honestly, like here we are the 31st. So in the next couple of days, I'll be kind of reviewing the month summary and will give me a chance to see like, okay, how did we really do in March? Like what did that really look like? I've continuously been getting notifications that people are subscribing to my paid subscriptions channel. So from the looks of it, like March is looking pretty good. People are still subscribing. I have enough video content that I'm still posting on my regular schedule on YouTube. My YouTube channel is continuing to grow with more subscribers every day. And my YouTube revenue is continuing to grow. So I'm optimistic that, once I kind of crunch all of the numbers for March, that, hopefully we weren't hit too hard, and the existing platforms that I have, hopefully will continue to do what they're doing. And now with more time and mental free space and creative ingenuity, I can continue to grow my platform.
Sure.
And see things continuing to grow, although it's maybe not as quick of growth as I anticipated with launching the new course. I'm also kind of crunching some numbers on that. Like, do I need to cut the price of my program, which would make it easier for people to buy? At the same time, I don't want to devalue the content that I'm providing for people because it is extremely valuable. I'm highly specialized and skilled in what I do, and I don't want to devalue myself in the marketplace just so that I can make sales during a hard time. So right now, my strategy is to create smaller more bite-sized products that are easier to purchase during this time.
Great. And so how can we help? Is there anything?
Honestly, just go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go check out some of my videos. Share them with people that need yoga in their life. Anybody that's got back pain, neck pain, shoulder, hip, low back. I mean, probably everybody on this call can like raise your hand for one of those categories. You can just go subscribe to my channel, visit my website. You can sign up and join the live yoga class tomorrow. And just reach out to me. I'm always, if you feel like, I mean, I saw Andrew said you have an idea for me. If you have any ideas, if you want to connect, I would love to connect with more people in my community. So, you know, feel free to reach out, drop a line. You can find me on YouTube, Jen Hillman, JenHilman. Super easy. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Gmail,
Great.
JenHilman.com, YouTube, Jen Hillman. Real easy to find.
Great. Yeah, and go ahead and post some links to your stuff in the group chat. So
Sure
thank you so
thing.
much, Jen.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna go with Andrew next. So let me unmute.
Hey, let me put on lights so I look better. Hold on.
Okay, here we go.
All right, there we go.
Great. So Andrew is the Business Development Manager at Ruckify. Andrew, could you introduce yourself?
Of course, of course. So my name is Andrew O'Brien, and I'm with Ruckify, and Ruckify is the world's largest peer-to-peer rental marketplace. Imagine my head is the M that's behind me. Excited to be here, Matthew. Thank you so much for including me. Obviously, we've been negatively and positively impacted by the virus and the pandemic and the epidemic and the financial crisis. We had to definitely get creative and change strategies and focus more towards helping versus paid marketing. So I'm excited to have this conversation.
Great. So can you tell me, I guess, how did you get into Ruckify?
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years now. I started out as a public speaker. I ran a 7-figure PR company for a while, and somehow my wife kept getting pregnant. Now she's pregnant with our 4th one. And after going on 4 kids, I realized, you know, entrepreneurship is awesome. It's exciting, but as you have more mouths to feed, it gets a little more stressful. So I wanted to kind of stop being the captain of a tugboat and join a ship. But of course, I didn't want corporate America 9 to 5. That's just not my style. Found out about Ruckify, and I really feel like I'm on the ground floor of the next Uber, the next Airbnb. Or I really think this is the next big thing. So as soon as I heard about it, I applied for the job. I kept annoying them until they gave me the job, and I think they're pretty satisfied with giving me the job so far.
That's awesome. Great story. Yeah. So what trajectory were things going for Ruckify or your position? Yeah, what trajectory were you on before the COVID news hit?
Oh,
Just
man.
before?
We had some major plans going on. So if you have been around Austin, which I doubt most of you have, and been all stuck at home, we have over 70 city buses wrapped with Ruckify right now in Austin, which no one is seeing because everybody's stuck at home. So we are planning on spending over $700,000 in marketing dollars over the next 3 months in Austin. We were moving our headquarters down to Austin. I live in Austin. The rest of my company lives in Ottawa, Canada. So we are planning on moving headquarters to Austin, Texas, and really blow up Austin. With everything that happened, the market crash, the COVID issue, like all of that changed everything for us. So we had to take our marketing dollars and use that to extend our runway for the company to last for a year, because we don't know how long all of this is going to last, right? And so that changed a lot. And what we had to do was stop focusing so much on paid marketing and really figure out how can we come in and be part of the solution, right? Because Ruckify, while it did negatively impact our business, we did find out there's a way that we can positively impact the city for Austin. So we came in, we were on KXAN yesterday about how, you know, anyone in here, you have stuff in your garage, you can put it on Ruckify for other people to rent from you. It's free, doesn't cost any money. You can charge whatever you want, daily, weekly, hourly, monthly. You choose it all. You choose cancellation periods. We provide insurance, covers up to $50,000 for an item. Like, what we realize is Ruckify can become part of the solution for all of this that's going on, a financial solution for people like Mercedes, who's having a hard time like with her employees. They could be using this to make additional money, right? It's not going to replace hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it can help. For people like Jen, she could rent out yoga stuff and upsell her digital courses, right? So that's one way. Jen, that's an idea I wanted to throw to you. So there's all kinds of creative ways you can get into it. So we had to change our focus from marketing more towards how can we help the community and do more with that. Right now, we're trying to figure out how we can help get more computers to the kids that don't have access to technology so they can continue doing school, since school's probably not going to be back in session.
Can you kind of explain a little bit more about are there significant, obvious impacts that you see? I mean, yes, the bus imagery is huge. Are you seeing that due to, you know, rechanging all the resources, is that you know, impacting you significantly, or is it just a well-oiled machine so they're able to pivot really fast and do something new?
Definitely not well-oiled. I don't think any of us could have prepared for this, no matter the size of investment that you have for your company, no matter whether you're a startup company or you've been around for a while. I don't think anyone was quite prepared for this. So changing around was definitely a challenge, right? It was hard, but we did it quickly and we did it efficiently. And now, honestly, I feel like we're getting a bigger impact this way versus the other way of paid media, right? Elise said in the chat, you know, earned media is definitely, it's just better, right? It means more. Paying for that spot on the bus means nothing, but, you know, being on KXAN about how we're helping save gyms and allowing them to rent out their equipment through our platform so they can stay afloat, I think that means more to Austin versus a bus that looks pretty, you know?
Yep. So what other kind of solutions have you come up with that you think might be inspiring to others, or, you know, others in a similar situation, you know, might help out by knowing?
Yeah, so one thing we want to put out, you know, just like I said, if you have team members or employees that you had to let go of, we're doing a 6-part webinar series completely free starting this Thursday, going over the next 6 weeks about how to use Ruckify. It is free, right? We're providing Ruckify as a resource for everybody, completely free. We took away our cut. We normally take a cut of rentals. We took that away. We're not earning any money in Austin. We are literally just doing it to help. So if you have a kayak, a canoe, a lawnmower, you know, an Xbox, whatever you have, you can rent it out on Ruckify. No guns, right? So no hygiene. You know, I've been asked the crazy questions. So none of that stuff. Probably the guys that jumped on and was rude, they've asked me those types of questions, right? People like that. But really what we're trying to do is show we're not going to replace hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we can definitely help out on that side. You can get creative with Ruckify, like with the gyms, right? The kickboxing gym was interviewed on the one on Monday for KXAN about how they're using us. They're renting out their kickboxing bags and upselling virtual gyms, right? Virtual gym memberships where you can get classes while you have their kickboxing bag that you're renting. And so there's so many creative ways, and I'm always open to ideas, collaborations, things like that. But we're really trying to push out the webinar mostly right now, get people to realize, hey, we are here to help. We are free. For those of you business owners, definitely find a way to help the community right now. I think if you can find that, you can get a lot more traction. I know all of us are kind of hurting on marketing ad spend. If we're hurting, you probably are, because we are very well funded and we still hurt, right? We had to literally cut spending completely to save jobs in our company because of all this. So we had to get creative. So I think if a business tip for all of you is if you can find a way to offer something to the community and get some media exposure around that, that can definitely help your business quickly. Someone like Jen could offer, you know, yoga classes for kids while they're out of school, and she could probably get some media exposure around that. Because I have 3 kids, I would love to sit them down and do yoga so they leave me the hell alone. And so there's all kinds of opportunities. It's just about getting creative and showing the community, how we as business owners can be a solution even more than the government can be.
Sure. And so would you say that some of your marketing message has changed since COVID happened? It's more, you were already kind of in the community impact space, but are you doubling down on that kind of messaging?
Yeah. So before we were focusing on two main messages, right? One, sustainability. We're really big into the circular economy and sustainability. Get people to buy less and rent more means we'll stop using so much of our natural resources and making so much of a carbon footprint, right? Really big for us. And the second thing was, hey, come to Ruckify and rent whatever you need during the summer. Get that kayak, that canoe, that paddleboard, go have fun and just rent it instead of having to buy it. Those messages change. We still care about the economy, the environment. We still care about people getting outdoors. But our main messaging right now is, hey, we are a solution to help you pay some bills, because 3 million people lost their jobs last week in the United States, and that's only going to increase. So we are focusing our main message to, hey, Ruckify can be a solution to your financial crisis right now. We're not going to, make you millions, but you can at least pay some of your bills.
Cool. Well said. Is there anything we can do to help?
Yeah, I'll put a link to the webinar in the chat here. If y'all can share it out, that's awesome. Again, it is free. We have the Austin Young Chamber sending it out for us too. There's no sales pitch. I'm not asking anyone to spend any money, no dollars, anything. And they don't have to buy anything to rent out. You're renting out things you already own. So if we could get help with letting people know this webinar exists and getting people to sign up, we can help more people, not just business owners, but those service industry workers that are now unemployed, having to get food stamps to take care of, their bills.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, Andrew.
Thank you, man.
Sure. Gonna go with Cree next. So Cree, let me unmute you. There we go.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
So yeah, thanks. Good, man. Good. So thanks for inviting me onto the call, or thanks for posting this in your group and then allowing me to come on the call.
Sure. Yeah. So Cree is the founder of the Millennial Investor Community, and he's a good friend of mine, becoming a good friend. Yeah, I think you have a lot to offer the call. So yeah, finish the introduction if you would.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So I actually have two businesses. My primary business is intelligence marketing, but I didn't want to put that here because I'm not actively seeking clients. After the COVID-19 hit, I had a client that just became very hostile, and it's just become a situation where I don't really want to work with clients on their digital marketing anymore. I'll still do it for friends and for people I have a strong business relationship with. But as you kind of talked about, Andrew, the digital marketing, if you're focusing on paid media placements, can be very challenging. And if you're focusing on organic media placements, organic media is also very challenging. But it's when people are stressed and they're financially strapped, we become kind of wild animals. So I don't really want to focus on that aspect of my business. And it's fortunately for me, I'm a one-man guy, like a one-man show. So I work with contractors and I work with, copywriters, and I work with people that will fulfill other aspects of the whole service because you have web design, you have email marketing, you have paid PPC, you've got Facebook ads. There's just, the digital media landscape is so large that you can't do it by yourself. So I was not really affected as much as if I had a brick and mortar location, which I was considering at one point. Kind of go back in time, I was in 2013, I graduated from university. I have an engineering and business degree. So I've always liked business. I actually did direct sales when I was 17. I just loved it. And I got pushed to college and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go learn engineering. I actually learned more in high school about engineering than I did in college. So I was like, this is kind of worthless. Why did I pay $30,000 for this? And in 2009, I started selling stuff on the side on eBay and selling stuff on Amazon. And that's where I kind of picked up on, hey, e-commerce is kind of cool. I should, consider doing this more often. which is my foray into digital business. And I started to, around 2015, 2 years after I graduated, I realized, wow, I graduated, I didn't have any career prospects. I didn't take a good job. Like I tried to get a good job, but when they asked me like, why do you want to sell performance erasers? I was like, I don't even know what that is. They're like, it's sandpaper. I'm like, okay, so I don't want to sell that. So I came back here to Austin, Texas, and I started just working strings of sales jobs, all while also selling on Amazon and eBay on the side. In 2015, I finally made a decision that I was going to get out of student loan debt. And I went over to work for Apple. I quit the call center job that I was working. And I went to work for Apple, and I worked there for 3 years. And I worked every single overtime opportunity I had. I was also still selling on eBay and selling on Amazon. I made the mistake of trying to do arbitrage on Amazon, and I ended up losing $12,000 in my business, which was like, okay, because it just offset my income. But it was a lesson in differentiation. You have to, unless you're getting stuff very, very, very cheaply and you're able to bring it to a marketplace where it's easily sold for 10 times more, it's not, to me, it's not worth it anymore to go and do that arbitrage. So I learned that lesson, and I also shut down my Amazon store temporarily. I might go back to selling on Amazon, in the future, but I just learned the value of business ownership and having a side hustle while I was paying off my debt. So I was making double payments. I was putting every single penny I had into my my student loan debt, and I was really, really miserable the entire 3 years that I was doing this. And it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I found like a better way of doing it, of utilizing what we call velocity banking. And in a nutshell, if you could imagine, velocity banking allows us to pay off a 30-year mortgage in 5 to 7 years, making existing payments while increasing the cash flow. And I don't have enough time to explain it here because it's about a 30-minute presentation. But essentially what we're able to do is we're able to shift high interest rate debt from loan instruments to lines of credit. And the nice thing about lines of credit are that they're fluid. So you can put money into it and you can take money back out. And I was kind of toying around with the idea when I was getting out of student loan debt, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this or not. I had a spreadsheet and everything. I'm a spreadsheet guy. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. And I looked back like a year ago and I was like, damn, I wish I had really done that, because if I had just taken the plunge and like tried to pay off my student loan debt with credit card, I would probably be out of debt in like a year and a half. But I didn't. I was kind of still scared because I didn't really know what I was doing. So anyways, fast forward to now, that's what we help people with. We help people with increasing cash flow, doing it through real estate. I'm pivoting into real estate more because the things that I like about real estate are that I can get cash flow. We have a short-term rental up in North Austin. We were affected a little bit by it. We actually had someone that had to cancel a 4-night stay and someone else that blocked a 2-month stay. So we were really fortunate for that, because that put us positive cash flow for the next 2 months. And I'm doing other marketing to get our short-term rental booked. But I'm also going out and reaching out to medical centers. There's hospitals near our short-term rental, and reaching out to other short-term rental owners and offering to kind of be the bridge between medical center coordinators, people that are booking medical center stays, especially for traveling nurses, people that need to have, affordable, clean, safe housing, and connecting with short-term rental owners, because a lot of folks that are doing short-term rentals on like peer-to-peer marketplaces such as Airbnb, HomeAway, they're not really professionals. They're just kind of using this as an avenue to pay off their mortgage, or they're using it as an avenue to supplement their income. So that's a whole nother foray that through Millennial Investor Community, that's an online community that I started. I want to share that information so that people can kind of come together and we can talk about, solutions to a lot of the challenges that folks are having. And this, again, it's all online. Eventually I want to have an actual brick and mortar location, but right now with coronavirus, it's not the best time to do that. So,
Sure.
Yeah, and I think
sense.
That's about like my whole story. So
Sure. Where, I guess, what trajectory were you on when the COVID news hit, and then have you had to do any, major pivots? If you've got a more online business, it's going to be potentially less impacted, but can you give me some insight in there?
yeah, so I was actually I had about 5 or 6 clients doing digital marketing for them. And since then I've scaled down to about 2 or 3. I do some part-time work for one of my clients. But my real focus, my shift is sustaining that workload and then pivoting over to real estate and then coaching people, because 3 years ago when I first wanted to coach people, I had no way of actually doing it besides just giving away free information. And it's great to do that on YouTube, but my whole scope of focus was just, hey, I used Dave Ramsey's method of paying off my debt and it took me 2 years and 11 months. But as I was assimilating more information, I was like, oh man, I wish I'd known this like 3 years ago. I would have gotten out in a year and maybe I'd have a totally different business. So my trajectory was to continue scaling my marketing agency and also to take my additional revenue and just put it into cash flow short-term rentals. And that really hasn't changed too much for me. So we're still going out looking for short-term rentals. Kind of the best opportunity for us is a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment complex. So a complex that has a 2 or 1 bed that's near a university or a medical center. And the reason why is that, we want to cater towards medical professionals or professionals that are traveling for work, because a lot of folks that work kind of higher end corporate jobs aren't laid off. A lot of the folks that were kind of in the lower middle class or in the kind of the front line of businesses have been asked to, reduce their hours or have been asked to, have been laid off. But the business travel and the medical travel still hasn't really changed. Actually, medical travel is up. So.
Oh, that's good. And why do you think medical travel is up?
I mean, just because I think it's because a lot of people are getting their nursing degrees, or a lot of people are going back into nursing, and that's causing, just as the virus moves around, it's changing demand. My aunt's actually a nurse, and she was a pediatric nurse, so premature babies. And I haven't actually had a chance to talk to her about it, but she was doing a lot of travel. So she was living in Minneapolis. She was going over to St. Paul, and she was going outside the city, and she would just kind of go where she's needed. And with our short-term rental, we've had a few folks that have come through that are traveling nurses, and their budget is around $500 to $600 a week. A lot of times that's supplemented by the company that they work for. So part of the reason why we picked that was that the average daily rate for corporate traveler is around $130 a day. And the average stay is around 73 days. So really our sweet spot is for someone to come in for 2-3 months and pay around $100, $130 a day, which doesn't really change because it's not vacation travel, it's traveling for work. But again, it could be that, we have a reduced budget for certain companies. I don't really think that people are going to be reducing spending on medical travel, because we need to have, nurses and doctors where we need them.
Yeah, that makes sense. What can we do to help?
If you know anybody that has student loan debt that would like to learn about how to free up more cash flow, would like to learn more about real estate, possibly diversifying their income streams, then feel free to refer them my way. Millennial Investor Community is invite only. So if you refer them, if you're just letting them know that you're on this webinar, then they can come over and they can ask to join the group. We do screen everybody. We don't want to have people like that were on the call earlier today trying to make a lot of noise.
Yep.
If they have whether they have a business or they just got let go from a job, doesn't matter. They can join the community. And really kind of the goal is like what Andrew said, we want to help folks, especially if someone's going to go face foreclosure or they're facing being behind on payments. There's a lot of things that we can do to help them with that. I just had a friend who runs a restaurant in North Austin pass away, and he had cancer, so he was already sick. But it was kind of it was really shocking, and I don't know. I think that just right now people just need to have a little bit of hope, So that's what I was trying to create with that group.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Let me see. Kristen, are you, you have video feed?
Yeah, I did. I just taken everyone off. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Kristen. Can you guys see me now?
Hold on one second. There we go.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll just start off by Kristen has a business that focuses on group travel in the event space. So thank you so much for the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so my background, about 2015, I raised money from investors in a local bank, worked with architects, and designed a hotel, a boutique hotel, which we then spent a year in construction and finally opened in March 2019. And we're a unique hotel. Each unit has 5 bedrooms, living room, and a kitchen. So we focus on group travel. The original concept was to take party houses that were kind of a plague to the Austin neighborhoods and put them on 6th Street. So we're located on East 6th Street. But as we were developing the concept, we realized that it'd be nice to be able to combine units. And so we have a really interesting structure where the walls between the living rooms can be removed to open up to one large event space. So we have a unique hotel concept that also doubles as an event space. We do a lot of corporate retreats, training sessions, weddings, bachelorette parties, family reunions, that type of stuff. So anything where groups are getting together, which is really not a good industry to be in when, during this time. So we opened in 2019. We've blown away our numbers. We've been 90% booked at higher rates than we ever expected. Actually in February, we had within 3 days raised $5 million in cash, and we're in contract to expand out to Nashville. Of course, that has we decided to suspend that project. But yeah, so we are incredibly impacted. All of our bookings have been canceled. We were pre-booked through June, so we were fully booked. They've all either been canceled or rescheduled, and the hope is that they will actually reschedule, and hopefully when things open up again, we'll be able to host everyone. Yeah, so it's really terrible timing because we really had just started, we were at the, early stages of really proving out our model and building up a hotel brand that we were hoping to scale.
And question in your space, since there seems to be, kind of these, stay-at-home extensions that creates kind of an amount of uncertainty when we'll be able to return back to normal. How is that uncertainty kind of working its way into the minds of everyone in the conversations you're having with everyone you work with?
Yeah, so there are 3 different groups I guess 4 really, that we work with. The first, are obviously our guests. And that's interesting because we started this conversation with them right when South by canceled. And so we reached out to the guests in early, April and from March to April, and tried to reschedule them. And originally they were like, oh, that's great, we're coming anyway. Like, this won't get that bad. And clearly it has. And now we're reaching out to guests even like through June. We have a wedding mid-June that's still hoping to happen, but looking at rescheduling October. So, the guest group is interesting because we get reactions all across the board as to when they think it will be safe to travel again. We have our employees. We've had to let go of some. Our doors are closed, so we have it's hard with having no revenue to figure out how we're going to sustain our employees. But not only do I want to keep as many as I can, because when we reopen, I don't want to have to retrain, but also I feel a responsibility to our employees. So even the ones that we had to lay off, we're paying for their health insurance as long as we can. Right now, we said through June. And yeah, with our employees, it's every day we have to figure out how long this is going to last for, because if this is going to be a year long, if we're going to wait until the vaccine's out in a year, that affects how we're going to sustain who we can keep on our team. Whereas if it looks like we can maybe reopen for the wedding, for instance, in June, then I want to keep a larger team.
So when you've had to, I guess, start to downsize, have the conversations been fairly open and understanding because the news is just out there, or is there a lot of, I guess, resistance and anger towards the brand or the situation?
Well, I hope there isn't any anger. Everyone, I mean, our team, our doors are closed. I mean, pretty much. We periodically have like high-end guests that will come and stay and book out the whole hotel right now. But mostly our doors are closed, so everyone knows, everyone sees this happening. So we haven't. I don't think we've had any people that didn't understand. And luckily, we had saved enough. And I think it was the responsible thing to do to give our employees, we paid them out through their PTO. We were able to give some severance to them. And again, we're paying for their health insurance for as long as we can. So, I think we've treated them as fairly as we can, given the circumstances. And I think that they understand.
Yeah.
It's never easy. It makes it a little bit easier, the fact that they see what's going on. This is not aspiring them. There's nothing to do with their performance.
And so when you do get when all of this passes and we do get going again, for some of the people that you mentioned that you're keeping some and some you had to let go, is it going to be fairly challenging to try to re-engage the people that you did have working before the impact?
I'm not sure. As of right now, we've stayed in touch. Anyway, we were a close-knit team. But yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that a portion of them will not be available. And I hope that they find great jobs in the meantime. I would be honored if they came back. But, I can't give any assurances as to when that will be. And, it's just really hard right now.
Yeah. Well, it's a great attitude to have in, this time. Have you been doing, how have you approached kind of like the strategic planning? Is it, every day you have a meeting and you chat about what needs to adjust, or could tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, every day we meet, and it's a conversation about, what group of guests should we reach out to next? Like, should we reach out to the people that have booked for July or August? Are we at that point yet? So, we meet to talk about the current guests. The kind of silver lining for us is we had a year to prove our model. We were ready to expand. So kind of the silver lining is there's a hope that this will kind of adjust the buying opportunities for us and kind of make a market adjustment. But I'm not sure that we'll still have our investors that want to invest in a boutique hotel.
True.
So, just everything's totally changed. For us, yeah, now it's about maintaining our existing guests, making sure that that we can help them as much as we can, hopefully reschedule if we need to. And then, like I said, kind of focusing on what might be the opportunity in the future. Maybe instead of expanding to one market, we can expand to several, assuming the investors, again, like the concept.
Are you finding a potential diversified expansion in the more electronic space is getting, I guess, favored in the brainstorming sessions, or yeah?
Well, I mean, in terms of revenue generating, no, because we don't have an asset. We don't have a product that we're selling. We have an asset, and it's a physical asset that encourages people to be together.
Mhm.
So as much as I can wrap my brain around how can we make revenue in this time, anything digital just doesn't make sense. Like, there's nothing we can do digitally. I don't think.
Mhm.
If you can think of that, if you can think of anything, let me know.
Sure, yeah, we can all brainstorm after the call.
But obviously we meet online every day, and everyone's work from home pretty much at this point. So we're all working online, working digitally. But it's hard to figure things out right now when you have an actual physical asset.
Yep.
People aren't going to work.
Yeah, I understand.
We are, one of the things, I mean, there are a couple of things we are doing. One is, obviously, we also have talked with the city about hosting medical professionals. We're in a little bit of a different situation because we are an actual hotel, and hotels have been working with the city to figure out there's been some talks about how the city will work with hotels, and we're held to different standards than short-term rentals.
Mhm.
Just in terms of safety standards, and so we have been talking about that. The other thing we're thinking is we have this incredibly huge roof deck with great views of downtown. We're right on East 6th Street, and so we've been getting our liquor license. Trying to figure out. I think what's going to happen when things open up again is people are going to start going out locally before they feel comfortable traveling. And so the hope is to open up to a large audience just in Austin. It's a difficult time for us right now.
I understand. Yeah, it's a difficult time for everyone. How can we help as far as
Well, if you know of anyone that, wants a place to stay, we would love to host anyone right now. And then beyond that, when things open up, like I said, we're going to have a high-end cocktail lounge. And if anyone's looking for weddings or anything, please come out and check out our space.
Great. I also host, before COVID, was hosting medical happy hours. And so there may be some future collaboration there. We can host something like this for the medical community online. And then when things get going again, then, transition easily to a physical space potentially.
That'd be great. We'd love to host everyone.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So, Renee,
Yo,
how's it going?
good man. How are you guys? You guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we
All
can hear
right.
you. So, so Renee is a personal chef, and he can create some, fabulous, fabulous meals for you delivered to your home. So yeah, if you could kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone. So I work as a personal chef here in Austin, and I recently just started doing it in the course of end of December. So it's kind of rough now that things changed so drastically for me. But as a personal chef, I don't actually deliver meals. I do all in-home cooking, so a lot of my clients are people who can probably afford it. It's I do grocery shopping included, and I create order menus and recipes based off their diet needs. There's very strict diets that I have occurred with, and a lot of it focuses on like nutritional macros, and a lot of them are like either going to fitness gyms, so they follow a lot of nutritional guidance from their fitness trainers, and I work around with that. For me, how COVID kind of affected me, I've made it to where I can have a goal of at least 8 clients every week, where I can probably do a double per day, and it keeps me afloat, gives me good revenue. I pay off my bills within a week or in a week and a half, and then I have enough money to send back home where I'm from. But since COVID happened, my clients from 7, 8 dropped to 1, and now it's 0.
Wow.
So it's understandable because one thing for sure is I have to go and grocery shop, and some people are not comfortable with it. I have been asked if I can just cook from home and do delivery. For me to do that, I would need a catering license, which is a whole nother licensing to get as a chef. And legally, you're not, even if you have a catering license, you're not allowed to be cooking from home. You have to have a commercial or rental kitchen to use and then deliver from there. So that's what I try to explain with everyone who tries to help me and give me ideas. And I tell them, like, it's not legally possible. I can do it on the down low, but eventually, you don't want to do anything illegal. You don't want to get caught in the end. And it's a food safety thing too. Me working from a cruise line for 2 years, I'm very big onto food safety. So that's why I let all my clients know that, hey, I can't do this. Hopefully we can get back again soon, but I really just can't go into delivering. So from there, I'm just trying to find other solutions. Like I launched a home cooking consulting online. So anyone that's, you're in home, you have a bunch of extra ingredients at home, you don't know what to make out of it, and you're just tired of making the same things, you can always just hit me up on email or video call or whatever, and I can just help you for free.
I have a cabinet full of spices. I have no idea how to make the perfect sauce. So definitely help.
Yeah, we can set that up with me, no problem. And I have a lot of time on my hands. There's that. But I tell people just set a time with me, because there's some people who on Nextdoor that I posted on, they commented on it and I never got back to it because I don't get a proper notification for it. But I can definitely help with that. And another way where I'm helping keep myself afloat is, before I started becoming my own personal chef on my own business, I had worked for a company called Dinner Elf. And that's how I first met with Matthew. Is I was trying to advertise that in a way. So now they're my part-time, and they contacted me, and where I'm able to do some online work with them with like website development, recipe development, and all of that. So that's helping me keep afloat, but it's shared task between 8 other chefs. So, I mean, the consulting on my own would kind of really help.
So let's just suppose that this goes on for another month. In your current situation, are you able to kind of keep doing what you're doing right now, or are you going to have to drastically change what you're doing if we extend the stay at home for another month?
So I already heard that we're going to extend, and I've already told myself, like, I'm probably not going to be able to do this until end of May, probably June. And the best way I can prepare for the worst is, if we're still in quarantine, I just have to push forward for doing my online consulting and whatever ideas I have with Dinner Elf on the side. I've been working on trying to figure out projects for them to approve, so I can actually have work on my own projects just for them. Other than that, I've been trying to do my own, organizing all my other recipes and trying to create more recipes that I can use for whenever I'm able to launch again.
Yeah, so I know that there's a lot of people online that have been posting, I've got extra time on my hands, and it seems that the e-learning space is, going in a forward trajectory. So yeah, just some creative brainstorming. I think you're onto something with, helping share your knowledge with others through electronic means, at least, during these times.
Yeah, I've had some people ask me to do online classes or video classes and stuff. And I told them, like, I thought about it at one point, but I also told myself I'm not going to have the money to last with my bills if I buy on ingredients and then it's just for demos or whatever. I mean, yeah, we'll eat it at the house, but I'm not going to try to make a demo video just before dinner starts and then we're all trying to gather around and have a family dinner,
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
So, what's, I guess, I guess what's your current state of mind? Are you kind of in the wait and see, take it by day, or have you planned, I guess what you're going to be doing business-wise for the next week?
so for the next week, yeah, I've been just taking about it day by day. Really, it's if I'm not getting any consulting going on, I don't have any tasks going on with DinnerElf, then I'm just having to focus on my recipe and menu development. But I have no idea, however, I'm going to make any other revenue. Cree mentioned online meal prep. So yeah, that's part of my job where that's what I'm saying. What I can do on consulting is I can also provide and create the meal preps for the clients. I can share that my knowledge with them. They can tip me or whatever. I'm not trying to ask people to purchase from me just because everyone's pretty much tight on money. At least with the people I'm trying to connect with is like a lot of neighbors and communities. There's a lot of families. So I can help with whatever needs they need through whatever knowledge I have. Of course, saying like, you can tip me. If you don't, it's fine, but I appreciate it,
Well, and so how can we help?
Maybe just if you know anyone or if you guys might want to get in contact with me about like making food at home, you can just sign up with my consulting and get through that with me. If this blows off anytime soon, then yeah, I would love to just let people know that hey, there's a neighborly chef around. For Matthew, I cook in your apartment building already. Like one of your neighbors on the 10th floor, I cook weekly. So
Oh, that's great.
But now because of this, I can't go there. Yeah, just.
Have there been certain buildings or apartment complexes that don't allow what you do?
Okay.
Just I mean, as far as new regulations or new.
Well, what I've noticed, because Cree just mentioned about personal shopper. So I was working with Instacart for a while before I started all of this, and I was giving out business cards. And then I realized some building complexes that I cannot get into to do my service are strict apartments that do not allow me to park there. It's residential parking. So anyone with residential only parking, I refuse to cook for because I have no access to get in there. And those and other places that require me to park too far from the building, I don't do those kind of stuff because I have a lot. I carry about 5 bags of equipment and groceries going through like people's homes or floors and stuff. And then Cree mentioned about being a personal shopper for elders and other chefs. I live with my in-laws who are pretty much almost at a high risk age already. So there's a reason why I decided to not continue looking for a grocery job or continue with Instacart. And that's also I had to stop cooking for people in homes because they're concerned. And I'm like, I don't want to be in fault if I caught something and I don't know it and then I brought it in home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I appreciate your time and
yeah, thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch and try to help each other. So so for our conclusion, thank you everyone for joining, and it was very enlightening chat. So let's keep the conversation going. If you have any friends that want to, based on the feedback from this particular event, I may do these like every couple of weeks. So if you know any other, business owners that want to be on the next one, just have them reach out to me. And again, thank you so much. And I think as far as what I can the insight I can offer is what I'm noticing in my area of, social media and that little, in my local space, I'm noticing that, people are starting to really come together in more deep and meaningful ways. And especially if they have something in common. So, business owners helping other business owners, or if you share a similar interest to somebody. So I think that there's strength in numbers, even when we're spaced apart. So I do look forward to let's help each other, and if you need a resource, feel free to reach out to anybody that attended this event, or reach out to me, and would love to help or introduce you to somebody that I think can help in these times. So I think we'll get through it. We just can't be shy about asking for assistance and resources, just to get us through. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And yeah, feel free to post these links. If there's anything else that you forgot, just email me and I'll post it along with this was recorded, so I'm going to be posting this on my LinkedIn and Facebook groups, but I'm going to be editing it a little bit before we post it. So if there's any links that you want me to send along with that post, email me, Matt, M-A-T-T, at austinvisuals.com. So thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you, Matt.
Bye.